I'd like to call the meeting to order. Welcome to the School District of Waukesha Board of Education. We have a special meeting, and it is Monday, October 29th. Sue, have we been properly posted?
Yes, we have.
Thank you. There are 3 action items that we are here to address this evening. The first 2.
Roll call?
Oh. Would you please take the roll call, Sue?
William Baumgart.
Here.
Barbara Brezink. Here. Greg Dietz.
Here.
Amanda Roddy. Here. Diane Voigt.
Here.
Patrick McCaffrey. Kurt O'Brien. Karen Reinacek. Here. Joseph Como.
Here. Now we can start the meeting. Thank you, Bill. Sorry about that.
All right.
We do have 3 action items for this evening. The first 2 are the final approval of the 2018-2019 budget and tax levy. And the third item is the approval of an interim assistant principal position at Waukesha North High School. So we're going to start with the approval of the 2018-2019 operational capital expansion and debt service tax levy. Now that all the components of the revenue limit calculation are known, we're in a position to finalize the tax levy and the budget for the 2019-2018 fiscal year. The budget was originally presented in July, and the public hearing was held in September. Total revenues are budgeted at $183,189,382, and total expenditures are budgeted at $185,143,461 for all the funds. The tax levy summary and budget adoption format are attached to your executive summary along with the final 2018-2019 booklet for your review. So this is the final one that we're looking at. Culmination of almost 12 months of work, actually 12 months of work. The final mill rate is $7.80, which represents a 41-cent decrease, along with the total levy decreasing by 1.71% from the previous year. It should be noted that the proposed 2018-2019 tax levy and rate are at their lowest levels in a decade. It's been a lot of hard work that's gone into that. We were off by 3 cents, I hear, in having it the lowest since 1984. But we're getting there. I move to approve the tax levy for the district in the amount of $77,350,741 for operational purposes, including $2,858,407 for the capital expansion fund, and $860,474 for the debt service fund. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Second by Mrs. Brezink. Discussion? Mr. Baumgart?
I think with your last comments about the rate, that's very impressive, and I'm thinking that this is the kind of thing that people that are wondering about the referendum should be paying attention to, because it just tells them how well we have managed the dollars here in the Waukesha School District over the years, that we are running at a significant lower rate than you might expect from any of the other school districts. So I just think it's a point of real positivity, if there's such a word, and something we should be feeling good about.
And we try to point that out in the fact sheets that we have gotten out, and in the meetings that we've held, where we present facts, and online. So we've tried to do the best we can on that. Thank you, Mr. Baumgart. Mrs. Brezink.
Well, I'd like to thank Darren Clark for all of his hard work and in putting this budget together. It's extremely detailed. We did a little talk about it earlier this evening. It's extremely detailed and it's a lot of work. But he helped me understand what the balance is of what we get, what we start out with in our budget, and that was very helpful to me, because there's many different amounts that are in this packet, and so I wanted to know the exact amount of our total budget.
Sure.
And what did you say it was again, Mr. Clark?
$185 million in expenditures and $183 million in revenue.
$183 million is the budget. Yep, thank you.
And there's a number of people that work on Darren's team, one of which I ran into late one night last week. I know, Sherry, you were putting together some of the final numbers, and a lot of teamwork that goes into that.
Actually, Sherry built the budget. I'll be perfectly honest. We go through an assumption process and tying those in, but really the work of putting it together is all on her, so.
It's 12 months. We're going to begin again here.
We usually take November off if we can, but
Okay, 11 months. Darn, I exaggerated. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, Sue, please take the roll call vote.
Barbara Burzing.
Aye.
William Baumgart.
Aye.
Karen Reinacek.
Aye.
Amanda Roddy.
Aye.
Greg Dietz.
Aye.
Diane Voigt.
Aye.
Joseph Como.
Aye, passes 7-0, Sue. Now, the second part of this is the approval of the 2018-2019 budget. I move to approve the 2018-2019 budget as presented with $183,189,382 in total revenues and $185,143,461 in total expenditures, which includes $18,791,593 in required operating transfers per the Department of Public Instruction's accounting guidelines. And I so move. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Dietz. Further discussion? Okay, Sue, please take the roll call vote.
Greg Dietz.
Aye.
Karen Reinacek.
Aye.
Barbara Burzing.
Aye.
Diane Voigt.
Aye.
William Baumgart.
Aye.
Amanda Roddy.
Aye.
Joseph Como.
Aye, passes 7-0, Sue. And then moving on to our third action item for this evening, I'd like to call upon the Chair of our Human Resource and Compensation Committee, Karen Reinacek.
Thank you, Mr. President. The principal of South High School submitted his resignation to the Human Resources Department on October 4th, 2018. Due to the timing of this event, the administration met with the superintendent and determined Rebecca Newcomer, principal at North High School, will be reassigned to South High School effective October 15th, 2018. With the vacancy at North, the Board of Education approved Kristen Higgins for the position of North High School principal at the October 10th, 2018 board meeting. The position of interim assistant principal at North High School was posted on WeCan on October 9th, 2018, and closed on October 16th, 2018. We received 78 applications. 15 of those were invited to complete an online interview via HireVue. 4 candidates were invited for face-to-face interviews with an interview team of administrators and teachers, and the outcome was to recommend Ms. Christina Kralik for the interim assistant principal position of North High School. One of Christina Kralik's strengths as a technology integrator is her effectiveness in modeling ways of naturally integrating technology into the classroom. This talent will enhance the current practices at North as a one-to-one school and will provide greater opportunities for staff to infuse high-leverage practices into lesson plans in conjunction with technology. Christina also has a depth of knowledge which tightly aligns to North High School's theory of action. She brings with her a solid AVID background, and as an instructional lead for the coaching and certification instrument, she will be able to build upon the inclusive culture of high expectations for all learners at North. Christina is an experienced leader of professional development and has demonstrated her ability to analyze and address gaps in data and reflect on her own practices, all while being a flexible practitioner. Christina Kralik received her Master of Science in Educational Administration from Concordia University in March 2018 and her Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education in 2012 from UW-Milwaukee. She is currently at West Allis Central High School as an instructional technology integrator. A confidential recommendation and resume was provided in your packet. Mr. President, I move to approve the recommended candidate for the position of interim assistant principal of North High School.
Is there a second to that?
I second it.
Second by Mrs. Voigt. Discussion? Mr. Baumgart.
More of a logistical question than a discussion. I mean, I'm impressed with what I've seen here. And we're bringing her in as an interim. Will she be able to start immediately, or does she have any hanging on she has to do in West Allis, West Milwaukee?
I understand from a communication I had with her today that she'll be able to start with us on November 12th.
Okay, thank you. That's all I was wondering about.
Mrs. Brezak?
Yes, she understands, of course, that she's taking an interim principalship. Does that mean at the end of the school year that the position will then be posted for a permanent person?
The contract is set to end as of the end of the school year, and we'll
Yes.
make that decision as we get closer to the end of the school year.
Okay, so chances are we will interview again for the position.
That's certainly a possibility,
Okay.
given the late hire,
Yeah.
and she's very new to administration.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
But can I just add, with the right person, we may recommend a renewal of the contract. We just don't know yet. We think that she's a very strong candidate, has a lot of potential. But we're just keeping our options open at this
That's right.
time.
Yeah, I like taking that approach, personally. The person has some really wonderful experience, but then there's the lack at that leadership, that top leadership level in the high school. But that doesn't mean that this person can't come in and really do a bang-up job. I think we have to first see that that can be proven to us first before we give a normal 2-year contract, I think is what the approach is that we're taking, so. Mrs.
Now,
Brezak?
If I may add, we've done a very good job of putting leadership into our elementary, middle schools, high schools, et cetera. So I'm real proud of what we have in our buildings. Got some talented people doing well for our students, and that's what matters.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have the motion?
Yes, yep. Sue, will you please take the roll call vote?
Greg Dietz.
Aye.
Amanda Roddy.
Aye.
William Baumgart.
Aye.
Diane Voigt.
Aye.
Barbara Brezink.
Aye.
Karen Reinacek.
Aye.
Joseph Como.
Aye. Passes 7-0, Sue. And that concludes our meeting tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We are adjourned.